It's your boy Griff here, back with another video, and today I got a special video, guys, man. Today we're going to be making a ultimate TOP, guys. So basically what I'm going to do is talk about what the TOP mode is for a little bit, and then I'm going to break down some of the key things that you should know about TOP so that I can help you guys make it to the top ranks. You know, TOP is probably the least interactive mode, but it gives you probably the most chrono crystals every 2 weeks. If you make it to the high ranks, you can get a total of 1.5k chrono crystals, 1,000 for being in the top ranks. You get 300 by clearing the last stage, and then I believe you get an extra 100, like I said, by being in the top cut, and then you get 100 every single time you make it in the missions tab. You get an extra 100 chrono crystals. So that all that tallies up into 1.5k chrono crystals every 2 weeks, and you hardly have to interact it like PvP, for example, dealing with Rise and Rush and TVs and 14-star teams and all that annoying stuff, and MUI and droids and USB and all that stuff. So TOP is just another way you're getting chrono crystals, right? Like free to play. Even if you spend money, like it's an easy mode for you to get it, and a lot of people are not taking the chance to, you know, to take advantage of that, right? So that's what this guide is for. This is basically a little intro, and then I'm going to just talk. The next segment is going to be me breaking out what the TOP is, some of the little things that you need to know that's going to help you in terms of being in the top ranks. And then the next segment after that is going to be me talking about what I believe are the top 6 teams in TOP that has been consistently been, you know, very powerful, and these are the teams that the top players use, and they basically just work. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. So I'm gonna catch you guys there. Okay, so the question is, what is the TOP mode? So the TOP mode is basically this mode right here. You go here, and this is how the TOP mode looks. So the TOP basically has like 25 stages, and your goal, your main goal, your ultimate goal for this is to make it towards the end without dying, right? The reason why you want to make it there without dying is because as you continue to win, you build up like this win streak, and this win streak basically gives you like an increased points multiplier. Now what I mean by that is everyone at the end of the TOP thing, you guys are gonna get a battle score, and the battle score, it determines on certain things, right? There's certain things that dictates on how high your score is, and one of the things that dictates how of you getting the highest score possible is making it towards the end without dying. The reason why is, like, even if you die, you do get reset back 2 spots, and you can keep going that way, but it hurts your point percentage. It hurts your little winning percentage thing, basically your winning bonus battle, where as long as you keep winning, you're gonna get more points that way. So someone, for example, that does the same path as somebody else, right? They do the exact same path, but one person does it 25 wins in a row, doesn't die, and the person, you know, midway through he dies. That person that made it all the way to the 25 wins is going to get a higher point than that person that died in the middle throughout of that little TOP, because his win percentage kept going and it kept increasing because he kept winning. He didn't break out of that winning streak, while the other guy basically did lose his win streak and it had to reset. So you basically want to win 25 wins in a row. You don't want to die at all in TOP. Now, what are the yellow spots? The yellow spots basically means that you can switch in and out for different teams and all that stuff, but that kind of hurts your winning little streak as well, right? You want to go to the reds as much as possible. You want to go to those as much as possible to keep that win streak. That's the only way for you to build up that win streak, is going to the reds. The green thing is basically a healing spots where you can heal your team, but once again, it's going to hurt your winning streak as well, your winning bonus as well. So you want to stay in with the reds as much as possible. So basically 25 wins. 25 wins is all you going to the red spots only. Don't go to the greens, don't go to the yellows. So you guys see here, there's also 3 different like win little red spots. There's one that has 3 fists, there's one that has 4 fists, and there's one that has 5 fists. So the reason they have different fists is because of the difficulty of each stage. So the one with the 3 fists is the easiest, but you get the least amount of points. The one with the 4 fists is kind of in the middle. It's like a normal, you can basically say, but you get like, you know, the middle amount of points. And then the red one is basically like the hardest difficulty, but it gives you the most points. So you want to go for the ones that has the 5 fists, because you get the most points that way. And if you don't find no 5 fists, then go to the 4 fists. So now, there's also another thing in terms of like the winning bonus thing. There is a huge multiplier for every 5th battle that you do. So 1 through 4, right? So say this stage right here, this stage right here, this stage right here, this stage right here will give me like a 5 battle bonus, percentage. But then this 5th stage right here will give me a 10% win bonus. So make sure that every 5th battle that you do, try to land on the red as well, because first the red one, the 5 fists one, gives you the most points as possible, and then since it's on the 5th stage, it's going to give you a more battle bonus percentage things, and it's going to just grant you a higher amount of points. So make sure you go to the 5 fists as much as possible and the 4 fists as much as possible. But on the 5th one, see if you can land on the 5 fist one, because you're gonna get even more points compared to the other stuff. Now, there's also some things that can help you out in terms of TOP that I want you guys to also know is key recovery. Key recovery is actually one of the biggest things in TOP. The reason why for that is because key recovery, if you have a higher key recovery than your enemy, you basically get to attack first, and that helps a ton, because that means the enemy won't be able to attack you, and they'll do less damage to your allies, and you guys can sustain a lot more. So key recovery is really important. So units that has like that and that gives themselves key recovery is going to be able to attack first compared to the enemy. So that's why whenever you challenge you challenge the bots, it's basically about who has the higher key recovery. That's who attack first. So building your team that has units that has key recovery is really, really important. Now, another thing I want to talk about is make sure is to have your team that you main at friendship 10. That's something that they don't really talk about, but friendship 10 gives you like the highest stats, I believe. It's something like that, where friendship 10 gives you like the higher stats or something like that. So you guys see here on my Regen team, I basically have all my units friendship rank 10 and everything, because they get like a higher boost in key recovery, damage, and all that stuff, and stats and all that stuff. Something that they don't really tell you, which is weird. But make sure you have your units at friendship level 10, all your units. So say for example you're rocking Regen, make sure you have all those Regen units at friendship level 10, because they're going to be at their peak, the highest damage, tanking, all that stuff, key recovery, all that stuff. So it's something that they don't tell you, which is dumb, but key recovery is important, and then friendship level is also important. Now, you can also get TOP equipments. Now, you can get TOP equipments from the exchange shop. You can go to the exchange shop right here. Oops, did not mean to go there. And you want to go to the rare metal shop, and then you want to go to the TOP, and these are basically the TOP equipments that you can use for your units, because they can basically give them base health, sustainability right there, base blast attack, strike attack, defense, and all that good stuff. So you can get TOP equipments from the rare metal exchange shop. And then also one last thing I want to talk about is that there's also a boosted system in TOP as well. Now, the reason this is important is because it's basically the units that's in the Z tier is going to give you more battle bonus percentage to help you get a higher point in the TOP leaderboard. So for example, these units in the Z tier, right, they're going to grant you a 4%. They're going to give each character that's in here is going to give you a 4%, I believe, to your battle bonus points thing. Whenever you face, or every time you win, they're going to give you an extra, points percentage that helps you rank higher in the leaderboard. So you want to try to go for units that's in the Z tier and the S tier, because the S tier gives you 3% and then the Z tier gives you 4%, and anything else lower gives you like 2%, 1%, and 0% as well. So you don't want to use units that's in the A, B tier, C tier, and no tier, because they're going to give you no points. So you want to use units that's in the Z and the S tier, and that's why these 6 teams I want to talk about, they usually are in the Z tier and the S tier, and that's going to help you rank very, really high in TOP as well. And they also have ways of just making your team sustain throughout the whole match. So key recovery is important because you attack first. You basically got to get your friendship level to 10, because it helps them with max level, max stats, and all that stuff, something that they don't tell you about. And then make sure you have some TOP equipments, because that's going to help them just have like more health and attack damage and all that good stuff. So I know this took a very long time for me to explain, but I definitely wanted to talk about all that good stuff, and then we can hop into the best teams in the game. So I'm gonna catch you guys there. Okay, now the first team I want to talk about, this is the team that I basically use in TOP, is basically Regen. So I want to talk about the key units for each team. I'm not going to break down every single unit for Regen. I'm just going to talk about the best Regen units on there and the reason why they're very, very good. So now I want to talk first about Super Baby 2. I think Super Baby 2 is the best Regen unit, and I'm going to break down why Super Baby 2 is super good for TOP and all that good stuff. So we go to his first unique. You guys see here, it says end of turn ally GT or regeneration in range. So if he's in the middle, the person on his left and the person on his right, he's going to heal his allies 3% at each turn. So every time you face a stage, there's 4 turns in there, and then I think everyone just launches their blue card, and that's the end of the match. So if there's 4 turns, Super Baby 2 is healing the person on his left and his right by 12%, which is amazing, because about TOP, you want to sustain, you want your allies to stay alive, you want to make it to the end, and Super Baby 2 is going to heal his allies by 12% each stage, which is amazing, bro. You basically is just going to be like immortal, bro. He's healing them by 12% each stage, which is really, really important. And he also gives them 30% to health restoration, so they're going to even heal even more than 12%, which is really nice per stage, which is super good. He also gives them damage inflicted buffs, which is pretty nice, but that healing is the thing that really is important, that what makes him shine as one of the better units in TOP. So that's Super Baby 2 for you. Next I want to talk about is Fat Boo. Fat Boo is basically the same as Super Baby 2, but the thing with Fat Boo is he heals his allies at the end of the second turn, but it's only by 3%. So Super Baby 2 is healing your allies by 12% throughout the whole throughout the whole stage, battle stage for that certain stage, while while Fat Boo is only doing is healing your allies by 3%, but he's still healing your team, so it's really good still. That's basically the reason why you want to have Fat Boo as well, because he heals, so you can basically heal all of your allies basically that's fighting, because you have 6, you can only use 6 as your main squad, and you can basically heal all 4 of them with Fat Boo and Super Baby 2. So the one that's at lower health, you want to pair them up with Super Baby 2, and the one that's that's at the higher health, but you still want them to have some healing, pair them up with Fat Boo, because Super Baby 2 heals them more than Fat Boo. So another key unit I want to talk about is Purple 21. Purple 21, one thing about her is she has a really high Z ability for health, so she just makes them tanky, right? She just makes her allies even more tanky. She's a transforming unit, but the biggest thing about her is at the end of the second turn, she activates a special action where she heals herself by 10%. 10%, bro. So just imagine her being paired up with Super Baby 2. She can literally heal up by 22% of her health at per match, bro, because this is insane. Super Baby 2 gives her 12, then she gives herself 10, and then with the health restoration, she might heal up probably to 25, bro, which is nuts. It's insane to think about, right? So she does do some extra things where she gets extra damage inflicted buffs, but that's the thing that makes her really, really powerful, is that she heals herself by 10, and her Z ability helps base health. So that's why Purple 21 is one of the key members for Regen. Now LF Piccolo is another one. Now LF Piccolo is different between the other 3 that we're talking about. The reason why LF Piccolo is really good is because he guarantees himself a blue card every single match. So when you're facing these stages, you guys see how Fat Boo, there's a green little bar on Fat Boo, and then there's a bottom one that's black. Basically that fills up to yellow every single time you fight and all that stuff, and that basically is like a key indicator of them when they're able to use their next blue card for that match. So maybe in the 6th match, Fat Boo gets to use his blue card. Now with Piccolo, what makes Piccolo super powerful is he guarantees himself a blue card every single time, because that's part of his kit. He fills his gauge by 100% every time, and he lands that blue card. Also, Piccolo has high key recovery, so he's probably going to be one of the first units to land the attack as well, which is really good. And that what makes Piccolo really strong. He's a transforming unit, he's a Zenkai, He guarantees himself a blue card every time, and he has high key recovery, so he attacks first, most likely. Another thing I want to talk about is Boo Tanks. Now, Boo Tanks is basically the same thing as Piccolo. The thing with Buhan is Piccolo gets his blue card the third turn, while Boo Tanks gets his blue card at the start of the first turn. So he's guaranteed himself to land a blue card literally at the first turn, and he can do a ton of damage with that blue card. He has high key recovery as well, so he's most likely going to attack first and land that blue card first, right? Because he has high key recovery, he's going to get his 100% gauge increased and all that good stuff. So that what makes Boo Tanks really, really good as well. So another unit, the last unit I want to talk about for Regen is actually going to be Cooler. Now the problem with Cooler is he doesn't, his Z ability wise doesn't help the team, but what makes Cooler really good is at the end of each turn he heals himself by 2%. All this other stuff is good, you know, it's pretty solid, but why I see him as being invaluable is because he heals himself 2 at each turn, so he's getting 8 health gained at every stage. He's healing himself by 8 times, like 8. He's getting 8% of his health each match, right? So really, really good. Metal Cooler, the only problem is he doesn't buff the team with his Z ability, but if you pair him up with Super Baby 2, on the left side of him, he can get up to 20 health per, you know, match, which is insane. So those are the key units of Regen, and they're basically the other units you want to just use the Z tier units and the S tier units just to get as much bonus power as possible. So that's it with Regen right there. Now we're gonna hop into the next team, and I'm gonna catch you guys there. Okay, now the next team that I want to talk about is LOE. Now LOE, they have some solid units on there as well, and we want to just talk about what about LOE makes them really, really good. So the first key unit I want to talk about for LOE is Chilled. One thing about Chilled is basically like Purple 21, where his Z ability helps LOE with their max base health, which helps a ton. You know what I'm saying? They just get more health, and it's really, really good for LOE with sustainability. Now, one thing about Chilled is he has debuffs that he does toward the enemy, which is really, really good when he's paired with LOE members. So it basically gives them less like key recovery. So that means they're gonna be able to attack. They're gonna attack, you know, second, because if they have low key recovery, they're not gonna attack first, and your team gets to attack first, and you guys most likely won't take as much damage if every one of their units gets to go first while yours doesn't. So he takes away their key recovery and he increases his own key recovery, which is really nice. And he also builds up his special move gauge, and when he does land a blue card, it gives that enemy basically paralysis, and their paralysis meaning for TOP mode is they can't attack for that turn. So that's a really powerful thing about Chilled, which is really, really nice. And when he lands his blue card, he takes away their buffs effects as well. So that's really, really powerful right there. Chilled is really, really good. You definitely want to have him as one of your key units for LOE. Another unit I want to talk about is Purple Frieza. You know what I'm saying? Purple Frieza, he basically he has damage inflicted buffs for himself, high key recovery. He also gives his allies damage inflicted buffs, these ones that's in these respected squares. He gives them damage inflicted buffs, which is nice. And then he has a thing where his first turn, he can give the enemy a green card and basically immobilizes them, and they won't be able to attack first because he has a way of immobilizing enemies just like Chilled, which is really, really powerful. So really, really good right there. Purple Frieza, he can get double Zenkai buff with him and Chilled together, so he's gonna be even more tanky because he has a Zenkai buff, which is really nice. And we can talk about the next, you know, key unit in my opinion is Revival Frieza. Now, one thing about Revival Frieza, he does have Revival. You guys see here, he basically has a huge debuffs on the enemy. You guys see their -40 to health restoration and all that good debuffs. You guys see here when he has a Revival ability. So when his first life dies, he basically he heals himself by 70. His special move charge rate increases. His blue card damage increases as well, which is really, really good. And then he also heals his allies that's on the left and right of him by 2 times. Twice. So basically he heals his allies by 4% each stage, which is really good. Increased key recovery, which is really nice, and all them debuffs. So the fact that he heals your allies by 4% for LOE is pretty solid, and he has those debuffs and all that stuff, and he's a Revival unit too, so that's really helps him a ton. Increased special move gauge is really good as well. So Revival Frieza is definitely up there for sure. Another person I want to talk about is Zenkai Full Power Frieza. Now, one thing about Zenkai Full Power Frieza is after activating his special action, where he basically nullifies an attack. So if someone lands a blast card against him, he can nullify that blast damage on him, and he increases his gauge by 100%, where it guarantees him to land a blue card, which is very, very powerful. And also, when he does get lower to 50 of his health, he heals by 10%, activates once, which is really, really good. So the biggest thing about this Frieza is that he can nullify blast cover chains, and he's basically going to guarantee to land that blue card right after, which is powerful, bro. He guaranteed a blue card if the enemy does a blast damage against him, which is really, really good. So yeah, next I want to talk about is Red Cooler. Now, Red Cooler, for example, the reason why he's on here as well is he actually buffs the team, right, with his Z ability, and it's because he heals. He heals himself 2% at each turn, so 8% health. That's the reason why Red Cooler is really powerful on LoE. It's because of that. He has some other good things about him, but it's him consistently healing himself, which is going to make him, pretty powerful, and he's able to sustain throughout the whole TOP run. So him, and then the last person I want to talk about is Angel Golden Frieza. Now, Angel Golden Frieza, every time he lands an attack, he heals himself by 1, and he increases his damage inflicted. So he heals himself by 4%, which is okay. He has high key recovery of 100% key recovery, so he's probably going to be able to attack first every single time, which is really powerful. And then he also has debuffs for every time when he lands his special action against a enemy. He has increased his own key recovery by 70%, bro. And then he gives them heavy bleed, which is really powerful. So those are basically the key units that I believe on LoE that makes them really powerful. So now we can hop into the next team, and I'm gonna catch you guys there. Okay, next team I want to talk about is this team is really, really good. My fault right there. This team is really, really good right here, and it's basically Androids, bro. Androids got some really powerful units in here, and I want to break down some of the key units why. So the first unit I want to talk about is a unit that people hate facing in PvP. They're really powerful in TOP as well, and it's the Tag Droids. Now, the reason why the Tag Droids are really good is because of this ability right here. First of all, they have high key recovery, all that good stuff. But every time they land a strike, blast, or special move, they heal themselves by 2%. So they're constantly healing themselves. They're getting themselves damage inflicted buff every time, just like how 17 side is. When he lands a card, he heals and he gets damage inflicted buffs. It's just like that for TOP. They heal every time they land a card, and they get damage inflicted buffs, so they hit even harder every single time the next turn. So they do perform a tag switch. They can increase their special move gauge by 40%, so they're most likely going to guarantee themselves to land that blue card every single time they're in a match, which is insane. So they're healing themselves, they're increasing their damage every time, and they're most likely going to land their blue card per match if it goes to the third turn. So this 18 side is basically the same thing. It's basically the same thing, but that what makes the droids super powerful. They heal every time they land a card, they damage inflicted buffs, they have high key recovery, they're guaranteed to land a blue card. They basically have it all. They basically have it all, right? So next person I want to talk about is one of the better units for this TOP mode is Red 18. Now, one thing what makes Red 18 super powerful is at the end of every turn, the units that's in these respective spots, she heals them by 3%. So it's just like Super Baby 2. She heals her allies 12 health per stage. Once it gets, if the match reaches the 4 turns, she's going to heal those allies by 12%. Gives them 15 damage inflicted each turn as well. So she's giving them damage inflicted and she's healing them by 3%. But like I said, in the 4 turn stage, that's 12% right there. It's really insane. So she also gives them enemies debuffs, but that's what makes this 18 super valuable, just healing by 12% throughout the whole match, which is super powerful. Really, really good. So damage inflicted buffs as well. So next unit I want to talk about for droids is Blue 21. Blue 21 is really, really powerful, and it's because of this. So she can basically give her allies, 4 allies, this support. So special move gauge by androids. So if you put the tag droids in one of these spots, they're guaranteed to land that blue card, because at the start of every turn is a 15 special move gauge. The tag droids are going to guarantee themselves to land that blue card, because they get 40 and then 40, and then she's going to give them 15 each time. So at the end of the second turn, they're basically going to get their gauge 100%. Now she also gives them key recovery if they're Regen, and then damn deflect if they're girls. So tag droids has 18, red 18 is also a girl, and then she also heals health for allied transforming warriors. So units in the droids that are transforming warriors are going to be any other 21 units. I believe Cell is a transforming warrior as well. So if you pair themselves with Cells and 21s, they're basically going to be able to heal from that. So Red 21 is also one of the key units as well, and the reason why for that is because the synergy with her and Blue 21, she's going to get all those buffs from Blue 21, because she's a transforming warrior, she's a Regen, she's a girls, she's an android. She's going to be able to get all that stuff, and this is going to make this Red 21 really, really powerful. And it's the same thing for Green 21. It's because of the synergy they have with Blue 21. That's why those two units are really key units as well. She also has a way where she can, immobilize them mentally, because she has the solar flare. She increased her blue card damage, which is really powerful, and then she also can cover change her allies, because she has that instant transmission cover change, which is really good. So another unit that's really powerful is Gamma 2. Gamma 2 is ridiculous, and it's because of this right here. So the first turn, he gives his allies damage deflected buffs. The second turn, he gives himself crit rate. The third turn, he heals his allies by 2%. And in the fourth turn, he increases his special move gauge by 50. This guy is really, really powerful. He basically does it all, bro. He damage deflected buffs, heals his allies, increase special move gauge. Super, super insane. And then Gamma 1 is also really good as well, but he's not better than Gamma 2. But Gamma 1 is really solid. You guys see 140 key recovery. That means this is going to be a unit that can be able to attack first, bro. He has high key recovery. He gives the enemy damage debuffs and all that good stuff. But Gamma 2 is really, really powerful. And Gamma 1 is really good as well. And then the last unit that I want to talk about is Purple 21. You guys basically know why Purple 21 is up there. The Z ability that helps androids out. And then, like I said here, she has high key recovery, but at the end of the second turn, she heals herself by 10%. And like I said, her being paired up with Blue 21, she's going to be able to heal every single time by Blue 21 as well, right? Like you have Red 18 that's healing, you have Gamma 2 that's healing. She's going to be able to heal a ton. She's going to get her blue card damage up, her damage inflicted buffs, all that good stuff. And that what makes androids really powerful. Tag droids, Blue 21, Red 18, Purple 21, Gamma 2, like that. Androids is cold, bro. So those are the key units for androids, and that's what makes androids really powerful. And now we can hop into the next team, and I'm gonna catch you guys there. Okay, so the next team that I want to talk about is Sunfam. Now Sunfam is really, really good. They have some really great synergy. I know that this video is going to be very, very long, but I just really want this to be, that's why it's called the ultimate guide, right? Like, this is going to be a long video, but I want to break down these 3 more teams right here, and let's get to it. So, Sunfam. First unit I want to talk about that's a key unit is Yellow Goten. Now, let's talk about Yellow Goten. One thing about Yellow Goten, he increases his own key recovery, his own damage, and he also gets damage inflicted to his allies, which is really nice. And at the end of the second turn, he gives himself a guaranteed blue card damage. He increases his gauge by 100%. And then at the end of the second turn, he heals himself by 10%. So he heals himself 10% each battle. At the end of the second turn, he guarantees himself a blue card. And then he also does damage inflicted buffs to his allies. Really, really good right there. Really powerful unit for TOP. Another next unit I want to talk about is Zenkai Blue Gohan right here. Now the reason why this Gohan is really good is basically he has a thing, right? He has like a ability where all the enemies are going to attack him first, and after his health gets down to 55 or below, he heals himself by 15. So he's basically just a straight up tank. He absorbs all the hits from the enemies. Once he gets to 55 health or below, he heals himself by 15, so he gets back up to 70. And he's basically just a tank. Just eats all the damage and lets your allies have like not get their health, you know, depleted. He's the one that absorbs all the hits, but he's able to have a way of sustaining himself, which is really, really nice. So nice, decent, really, really like slept on effect right there. He basically just focuses the enemies all on himself, and he just tanks all the damage and everything, which is really, really powerful. I think it's for 1 turn, I believe. So another you don't want to talk about is Zenkai Kaioken Goku. Now the reason why this guy is powerful is high key recovery, high strike damage, but at the end of the second turn, 100% to his special move gauge, so he's guaranteed himself to land that blue card. His special move damage is going to do an increase by 60. He has to upgrade special move arts, all that stuff. But the problem with him is after he lands that special move, he de-transforms, but he's going to nuke with that blue card, right? So that's why this Kaioken Goku is really, really powerful. Is because he guarantees himself that blue card damage, and it does a lot of damage as well. So that's why he's up there in terms of being a key unit for Sun Fam. Now another unit I want to talk about is Purple Super Saiyan 4 Goku right here. One thing about him is at the start of every turn, he heals himself by 2%. So if it's a 4-turn match, he heals himself by 8% in total, which is nice. And then he has high key recovery, damage inflicted buffs, and he also nullifies attribute downgrades twice, so that's really nice as well. But the biggest thing is the fact that he's able to sustain himself by healing himself 2% each turn. So really good thing about Purple Goku right there. Another you want to talk about is Bird Coup. Bird Coup, man. Now one reason why Bird Coup is really good right here is extra damage to LOE. He has damage inflicted buffs to himself, but the key thing about him is he restores his health of his allies in range, so he heals 3 of his allies in these specific spots by 3% twice, so in a match 6%, which is really good. He gives himself own damage inflicted and own increased special move gauge twice, which is really good. And then he also has another thing in range where he gives his allies damage inflicted buffs, so he heals his allies by 6%, gives them damage inflicted buffs as well. He also has a cover change thing at a certain health that he's at, and then he also increases special move gauge. So really solid unit. Damn, like just supporting his allies with healing and damage inflicted buffs and cover change, which is really good. So another unit that I want to talk about is Death Coup right here. Death Coup, Bird Coup, you know what I'm saying? Kyle Coup, right? One thing about this guy is he does give his allies in range damage inflicted buffs, and he also gives Gohan and Goten characters high key recovery. And then one thing about him is when he does die, he restores his health of his allies by 15%, gives them all these damage inflicted buffs and upgrades, which is really, really good. And then if his health is 30 or lower, he heals his Sun Fam or Sagas from the movies allies by 5%. All that stuff debuffs his enemies and everything. So he has a lot of ways of supporting his team, bro. Like even when he dies, he heals. Even when he's alive, he heals the team. Like this guy got it all. Damage inflicted buffs to his allies as well. So another unit that I want to talk about is Great Saiyaman 1. Great Saiyaman is pretty solid, bro. I think one thing about them is just they don't really they give their allies damage inflicted buffs, but just the amount of buff effects they have with nullifying downgrades from the enemy is really, really good. Like he's just immune to a lot of things, and that what makes him really powerful. And then damage inflicted buffs to his allies in range at the end of every turn, which is really, really good. Another you don't want to talk about that's not a part of the Sun Fam team, but he is really, really powerful because I don't really know how good Saiyan is as a team, but this unit right here is game changing. This unit right here, where is he at? Angel Vegeta. Angel Vegeta is really good, and it's because of this ability right here. At the start of third turn, he heals his he restores his health by 3% to his allies. So everyone around him, he doesn't have to have a certain unit in a specific spot. He heals everyone around him by 3. He gives his allies damage inflicted buffs, all that good stuff. He's an absolute tank. Angel Vegeta is really good. You could put him on the Sun Fam team, right? But I don't know how good Saiyan is, but he's a really good unit as well for TOP. So that's it with the Sun Fam team. We have 2 more teams to talk about, and then we're gonna go to the outro. So I'm gonna catch you guys there. Okay, now the next team that I want to talk about is a team that needs help. They need help in PvP, bro. They haven't gotten no love in a year and a half, bro. Literally, or in a year, basically. It's GT. GT is actually really good in TOP, but they don't want to give them love in TOP. I mean, in PvP, I guess because they're one of the best teams in TOP. They think that the team is fine. No, that team needs help, bro. Team needs help. But let's talk about some of the key units on GT for TOP. First, I want to talk about Oob. Let's talk about Oob, man. You know what I'm saying? Oob. He has endurance, which is really nice. He also gives his allies in range that's up front of him damage inflicted buffs, which is really good. And then also at the start of the second turn, he heals himself by 5%, increases key recovery, increases next damage, and slowly builds up his special move gauge. Excuse me, right there. And then every time he lands a strike or blast card hit, he increases his special move gauge as well. So he's able to heal himself, damage inflicted buffs. He has endurance. Really, really good unit for GT. Another unit that I want to talk about, you guys already know, is Super Baby 2. Super Baby 2. You guys know why the biggest thing with Super Baby 2 is he heals his allies, his GT allies, by 3% at the end of every turn. So he's going to heal them by 12%. And then he also gives them 30 health restoration, so he heals them even more. So Super Baby 2 is really powerful on Regen and on GT because this end of turn thing applies to Regen and GT characters. So he can be ran on GT as well, and he's a must ran on GT. Now, you know what I'm talking about is Purple Super Saiyan 4 Goku. You guys already kind of know why Purple Super Saiyan 4 Goku is good. Because at the start of every turn, he heals himself by 2%. So 8% in total. Pair him up with Super Baby 2, he's going to heal around 22% health because of the health restoration as well, the increased health restoration. He's going to be able to sustain, bro. He does good damage as well. So Super Saiyan 4 Goku is really nice for the team. First, I want to talk about his Ice as well. I mean, not Ice, Nova. I think the biggest thing with Nova is the fact that he can nullify a attack because he has the little green card where he has that shield. He can nullify attack, so he won't get hit every time before receiving a strike or blast card the first time. So the first attack, he's going to be able to sustain the first hit. So this helps with sustainability. He also increases his key recovery when he's paired up with GT, so that's pretty nice as well. I think Ice is a little bit better than Nova because of this ability right here, where he can basically give the enemy a can't attack thing because he has a special action where if they land a strike card, he basically immobilizes them and then they won't be able to attack for 1 turn, which is really good. And he gives that enemy so much debuffs with their key recovery and damage and stuff, so it will just help your allies attack first because he's able to just have an enemy not able to attack and then debuffing their key recovery and stuff where they won't be able to go first, which is really, really big. So next, I already talked about Purple Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Red GT Goku is pretty solid in here. The reason why for GT Goku is he slowly builds up his special move gauge. So I think probably in every 2 battles he faces, he's going to have his special move gauge at 100%. And then he always ramps up his special move damage and his ult damage, which is going to nuke. It's going to nuke a lot. So it's really because every 2 stages he guarantees himself a blue card, which is really, really nice. And then he builds up that special move damage too. So really, really powerful. Next we're going to talk about is Ultra Shenron. Now Ultra Shenron is really, really nice on the team. One is because of his Ultra ability. He gives his GT members high key recovery. You guys see 5 key recovery per allied GT. So if you have 6 people in the battlefield, that's an extra 30 key recovery, so they're able to attack first. Gives them 30 damage inflicted as well. And then that's pretty much one of the main reasons why Shenron's on the team. Also, if he's at a low health, he heals himself by 10, which is really good. If he's at low 50, he gives his allies even more damage inflicted buffs by 10. And then that's basically it. So his Ultra Z ability is really the main reason why Shenron is really powerful. And then he also has ways of healing and damage inflicted buffs as well. But giving his allies high key recovery and damage inflicted from that Ultra Z ability is a main reason why you want to put Ultra Shenron on your team. So next unit I want to talk about is Super 17. Now Super 17, one thing about him is his ult card. When he lands his ult card, he mobilizes the enemy where they won't be able to attack for one turn, which is really good. And then he has a blast cover change special action, right? Because when he cover change or uses his green card, he absorbs the blast attack, so they won't be able to hit him, which is really good as well. So it's really that ult damage where he just don't let them attack them for one turn is really nice. And then that blast little special action cover change green card thing is really nice as well. So those are pretty much the main units for GT right here. So then we can just talk about the next team, and then we just move out to the outro, and I'm gonna catch you guys there. Okay, so the last team I want to talk about that I feel like is consistently really powerful is Movie Saga. Now we're gonna talk about the key units here, and let's get on with the video, man. If this video helped you guys out, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video, and if you guys just, you know what I'm saying, just still love to the boy, right? Like, this is a really long video, but let's get on with the last team, and let's just wrap this video up. So first unit I want to talk about is Red Bojack, man. Where's Red Bojack, boy? Where you at, Bojack? Bojack. Is Bojack in A tier, bro? No way, Bojack is in A tier. Bojack. So one thing about Bojack, although right now his tier is A, which kind of hurts him a ton because you want him to be at an S or Z tier because of the high the battle bonus that you get. But his thing is really good, like his holy fuck, his abilities is really good. Now the second turn is when he increases his special move gauge by 100%. So he basically guarantees himself to land that blue card, and when he does his Awakened Arts card, he heals himself by 5%, increased damage inflicted, 40 key recovery, so he's able to heal, which is really nice. And then he also gives his allies in range damage inflicted buffs. He gives himself high key recovery, all that good stuff. So Bojack is really powerful on the movies because he heals himself. He has an increased special move gauge, and then he also has ally support buffs right there. So next thing I want to talk about is Purple Bojack. You feel me? Purple Bojack. What makes Purple Bojack really good is at the third turn he does heal himself by 10%, which is nice. Then he also increases special move by 100%, and then he also has that's one thing that's really nice about him is at the end of the third turn he heals himself, and then he guarantees himself a special move, a blue card every single match, which is really nice. So he heals and then guarantees himself a blue card. Really nice. Next person I want to talk about is Broly and Chili. Broly and Chili right here. One thing that makes them really good is right here at the third turn, they heal themselves by 10% and 20 damage inflicted. So after each turn, they're slowly making their damage inflicted go up, high key recovery. At the third turn, they heal themselves by 10% and then more damage inflicted. And then also right here at the start of the second turn, they're going to be able to do 50% to more of their strike damage, you know, debuff the enemies with low key recovery, and then cancels enemy upgrades and buff effect, which is really powerful as well. But the fact that he heals himself by 10% is really powerful. Sustainability, which is really good for Broly and Chili. Now next is Saiyaman 1 and 2. Saiyaman 1 and 2, you guys know they have a lot of upgrades where they can nullify enemies debuffs, and then they support their allies in range by 20%, which is really, really solid. And they're also a really tanky unit too. So right, Saiyaman 1 and 2 is really good. The next units I want to talk about are the Gammas. You guys already kind of talked about Gamma 2 being really good. You guys know because of this right here. Damage inflicted buff to his allies. He heals his allies. He increases his own crit rate, his own special move gauge. This dude got it all. Gamma 1 is basically the reason why I talked about how good he was in androids. Same thing here. High key recovery. This guy has high damage. He debuffs the enemy that's in range. All that good stuff right there. Next I want to talk about is Bird Coup. The reason why he's super powerful in Sun Fam is the exact same reason why he's super good on movies, is because of this the stuff that he does to his allies when he's alive, like healing, giving them damage inflicted buffs. He also has a cover chains when his attack, when he's at 30 health or lower, and he also gives his allies damage inflicted buffs, which is really nice, and key recovery. Another person I want to talk about is Tapion. Tapion, bro. I think the reason why Tapion is really solid is that he does heal his allies by 1%. You know, it's pretty meh, but damage inflicted buffs, slowly increases his special move gauge, and he also gives the enemy a can attack for 1 turn, which is nice. You know, that's really, really good right there for Tapion. Next is Red Cooler. Red Cooler, you guys already know why I talked about how good Red Cooler was for LoE and Regen. He's basically the same thing. Sustainability, heals himself by 2% every single time, which is really nice. He also has really good effects as well, but the biggest thing is the fact that he heals himself every time a turn happens, which is really nice. Then, you know, another person that I think is really, really good is Gohan. You know, Gohan, he increases his charge rate by 50%, his blue card damage by 60, so that's gonna do a ton of damage, bro. And then he also gives allies, Saga to the movie, Sun, Fam, and hybrids at the start of 3rd turn health. You know, heals them by 1%, which is pretty mid, but it's something, right? Gives them special move gauge by 2 for 2 turns, which is nice, and damage inflicted buffs. So not Cryon, but Revival Gohan is really, really nice as well. So those are pretty much the key units for movies, and I basically talked about what I believe are the top 6 teams for TOP, and we can go on to the outro and wrap this video up. So without further ado, I'm gonna catch you guys in the outro. Okay, so that was the end of this ultimate TOP guide, man. I just basically just want to wrap everything up about TOP. Make sure that you're always using the strike fist whenever you are clearing the stage, and make sure you do the one that has the 5 fist or the 4 fist to increase your battle bonus. Make sure that your team that you want to focus on using for TOP is at friendship level 10, because they get more stats and key recovery and all that good stuff in terms of just being maxed out in terms of TOP. Another thing is you can get yourself equipment from the exchange metal shop. Also understand that key recovery, high key recovery helps you get godly. High key recovery guarantees yourself or increases your chance of you attacking first, so the enemy doesn't attack first and you get hit first. Like, you get hit first. You want to hit them first, not them hitting you first. So high key recovery is really important. Gauge is really good as well. And make sure you just don't go to these yellows and greens and don't die while you're facing the TOP mode. You want to win 25 wins in a row, because you increase your win bonus, your battle bonus, to make it in the high ranks. And make sure you use units that's in the Z and S tier, because they give yourself even more battle bonus percentage, which is really, really good. And that's basically it with this guide. So if you guys have any questions, comment down below. And also, if there's a team that's really, really powerful that you guys use that I didn't reference in this guide right here, the 6 teams that I referenced in this guide, comment down below the team that you use that you make it in the high ranks as well, and talk about the key units in there and what makes them really, really powerful. But I believe these are really like the top 6 teams that I really see a lot in whenever I play PvP at TOP. These are usually the top 6 teams that I see consistently that's winning in the top ranks and getting the most Chrono Crystals as much as possible. So hopefully this guide helps you guys out. If it does, subscribe to the channel, like this video so more people can see this video, because I know a lot of people are having trouble with TOP in general. So hopefully this guide helps you guys out, and hopefully this video age out where even like a year later, these are still like one of the best teams in TOP. So hope you guys will like, comment, subscribe. It's been with Gruff, man, and I'm out.